Oh, anybody tuned in yet? Doesn't look like it. I don't see anybody lighting up their works up there. Do you?
No.
No. Somebody is tuned in. Good morning. I'm not sure who this is looking. Kelly and I back in the saddle here again in a few minutes, right after the Fox News break. Can't play you any music like we were doing there for a week or so.
No.
Because we got gigged again. We're just running the station stuff. I mean, it's totally legal for them to run it. So anyway, that's we won't do that again, I guess. All right, we'll see you in just a couple of minutes. Stay tuned. And a good Monday morning to you guys, and to you too, Kelly. It's been about a month since I saw you.
Yeah, it's been a week.
Anyway, thanks to Lee Barrows for sitting in last week. And she's going to sit in for me for a little while tomorrow. I got to go see our concierge doctor. Everything good?
Everything's good.
Yeah. Um, I just found out last night. I did not know when the Steets Ferry Shrimp Festival was. Must have gotten totally sidetracked. I thought it was still in August, and I was gone almost all of August.
Mhm.
Well, I was gone all of August, so I did. It always just went by me.
Mhm.
But so we're looking at that, and that's going to be on the 22nd. I think it is. It's a Saturday.
Mhm.
And so in a couple of weeks, a little less than 2 weeks from now. So we, one way or the other, we need to talk about that one a little bit. Talk it up because that's a nice event. That's
Mhm.
always like those.
Yeah.
You know, with the news and everything else happening, I get a little tired of hypocritical jerks in this country.
Okay.
A high school football player in California has been carrying the thin blue flag when he comes onto the field at ball games. You know, when they run onto
Yeah.
the field?
Yeah.
He's been carrying it for the first 7 games.
Okay.
But after the jerks started complaining, saying the flag made them feel uncomfortable, compared it to the Confederate flag, the idiots in charge of the Saugus High School in Santa Clarita ordered the player, a 16-year-old boy, to stop carrying the flag. The district's school superintendent initially said the flag was fine, as did the principal, as it shows support for law enforcement. But now he says the jerks who complained are more important than the support for cops. That's not his words, but that's the bottom line. So they can't carry it anymore.
I'd have carried it anyway.
What a bunch of cowards we have in this
Mhm.
country. We just got them from wall to wall. I do think there were some heroes last Friday night in that school stadium. A whole bunch of fans carried the thin blue flag, thin blue line.
Interesting.
They had it out all in the stands.
Wonder what the school said about
Hey,
that. Has there
what-
been any
what are you-
comment?
Nope. What can you say?
But here's the thing. You complain about the very people, if there were incidents at school, that you would be calling.
Well, they had a mass shooting at that school 2 years ago, 3
Mhm.
years ago,
Mhm.
and they've been supporting the cops ever since because they got there and took care of business.
People can't have it both ways. That's what makes me laugh. A lot of times, these
just-
people that are anti-cop, the very first thing there's a sign of trouble, who are they calling? 911. Then
Of
don't call
course.
them. I say don't call them. Figure it out yourself.
Ain't nobody gonna be home.
Mhm.
Keep that kind of crap up.
Yeah.
Oh, me.
Ridiculous.
Speaking of high school football, a disappointing game last Friday night for the Jacksonville Cardinals.
Yeah.
The Havelock Rams came to town and managed to pull out a very close game, 36-34 win over the Cardinals. The game was carried on our station here, WSME Freedom 97.1, as all of the Jacksonville High games are carried each Friday night. The loss puts Jacksonville at last place in conference play. They've lost all 3 conference games. The total for the season, Jacksonville has 3 non-conference wins and now 3 losses.
Mhm.
Ouch. A 17-year-old high school student in Greenville was shot after he left Friday's game between D.H. Conley and J.H. Rose. The teen told police he was shot in the leg as he walked outside the Rose High School stadium near the athletic fields. No one else was hurt, and police have no leads and have not been able to determine where the shooter was. A lot of unanswered, probably a bunch of unasked questions
Mhm.
by the media, too, as far as that's concerned. Bang, bang, bang. What a mess. And good old Roy Cooper.
What'd he do?
And I'll get you guys going again. Some of our pot friends. After Biden last week said he was going to work to get rid of federal marijuana charges against a lot of Americans convicted of minor pot offenses over the decades, he's going to pardon them. And he urged governors across the U.S. to decriminalize marijuana. It took North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper about 2 seconds to jump on the Biden train. He and the state's Attorney General, Josh Stein, are encouraging the Republican-controlled legislature to make possession of small quantities of pot legal. Cooper also said that he's checking to see if he can pardon North Carolinians who have been previously convicted of misdemeanor possession. I don't understand. People don't really get it yet, but let me explain to you something. What this astute legal mind is failing to understand, a lot of those misdemeanor possession charges were reduced from felonies, often because the defendants cooperated with police in going after big dealers and traffickers.
True.
That's what they're using them for, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they pat them for a felony.
Mm-hmm.
They'll let them plead to misdemeanor as long as you help us out.
Mm-hmm.
And they do. For Cooper and Stein, both lawyers, to not get that is, I don't understand. These two legal minds should be able to put two and two together. Stein, who was elected when the AG Cooper ran for governor, now is considering a gubernatorial run in 2024 as a Democrat, of course. He's likely to get his hat handed to him when the current lieutenant governor, Republican Mark Robinson, runs for governor.
Yep.
Nah. Did you get up to see your mama during the last week or so?
No.
Oh, okay. I figured you might
I'll go this weekend.
Okay.
My reunion.
Oh. Looks like an algae bloom in Stones Bay, that's down there in the Sneads Ferry area, is growing, getting bigger. Before the tropical rains of a week ago, a similar bloom was spotted closer to the ICW and New River Inlet in the Chadwick Bay area. It's believed that the rains carried that offshore. The Coastal Carolina River Watch staff says that researchers at UNC Wilmington acknowledge this is a harmful species of algae and they're continuing to monitor it. There have been several fish kills in the lower end of the New River, generally in the Sneads Ferry area. Experts advise people to stay away from the reddish colored water. It looks a little bit like rust. It can look like foam or even have mats on the surface and can harm people, animals, and the ecology. They become harmful when they start growing at an out of control rate. What causes that? You want to know? Runoff. Runoff that contains phosphorus, generally found in fertilizers, contributes to that rapid growth. Keep that in mind when you're fertilizing your lawns and gardens. Don't put too much on it, for number one. And if you live right on the river or anything that leads into the rivers, don't go put a lot of fertilizer out there. It's bad for everything. Grass can be brown. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
When you hear stories of a 14 or 15-year-old getting into trouble, you might think, like most folks, it wasn't their fault. They're just too young to know any better. In Florida, a school resource officer was breaking up a fight between two teenagers when a 15-year-old decided to get involved. He grabbed the cop around the neck and slammed him to the ground, then started beating the officer.
What?
Yeah. I saw the video on it. It's there somewhere. But he got sucker punched him, got him, and then got around his neck and slammed him down to the ground. The guy was off balance, obviously. Yeah, he got busted. And his future is pretty much tainted now. The video has gone around the world. Think about that the next time that a punk teenager gets shot when he pulls a gun on a cop or tries to rob a store and gets shot. Matters not his age. The only thing that matters at that time is his action. Of course, without fail, if a cop taps the piece of crap with his baton, it would be excessive force. In the eyes of everyone who wasn't there or had never been in that kind of encounter, you just don't understand. I had a 15-year-old in a bear hug on the boardwalk at Carolina Beach one day. I'm 6'2" and I weigh 200 pounds, okay? He was perhaps 5'5", and if he weighed 120 pounds, they had to pour water and put rocks in his pants. But it was all I could do to keep him under control without popping him with a baton. Turned out he was tripping on PCP. That'll make you powerful, won't it?
Yeah. Yep.
What else is happening?
Well, we've got a local election coming up.
When?
And I've just been reading some very interesting information.
Uh-oh.
And if I were running for office, I don't care how confident I was, because I don't think you should ever be confident. You know what I mean? Like, you should always run like you're in the last place. My thing is, how bad do you want it? Well, anyway, I'm actually on MSN, but the reason I go on this one a lot, they show a lot of local news.
Right.
And apparently on September 2nd, the Daily News sent questionnaires to every Onslow County candidate.
Yeah.
Some didn't respond. Why would you not?
Doesn't surprise me.
I don't understand. And up until right this moment, I did not know that Phil Shepherd has somebody running against him.
I've seen his
Democrat.
signs up a
I
lot.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
And so, wow, oh, the guy's a professor at Coastal.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't even know. But yeah, it's interesting how many of our local candidates did not return the questionnaire.
Well, it's
Why would
it's
you
the same
not?
situation. We ask and we post it on here
Yeah.
for any of the candidates, anybody running for office. You're welcome to come on here,
Mhm.
Democrat or Republican. It doesn't matter to us. We've had Democrat Ike Johnson on. He accepted it
Mhm.
in a hurry, did a great
Mhm.
job. And we have Barbara Gaskins, a Democrat who's running for U.S. House against Greg Murphy. She's on this week,
Yeah.
this Friday. I don't get why you won't take the opportunity to,
To get your
let
name
people
out
know who
there.
you are.
Yeah.
Because some races get to be really close, as we found out at North Topsail a couple of times. You win by 1 or 2 or 3 votes. And that might be just what you need by coming on the air here.
I'm just looking on here as to how many did not respond. 2 candidates there's 4 people running for Board of Commissioners. 2 responded, 2 didn't.
Huh.
I don't understand why you would not. Like, why do you not want people to know who you are or know something about you?
I don't have a clue. It's kind
Like,
of
I
hard
don't
for me to understand.
understand. I mean, maybe I look at things a little bit differently, but I think personally, and I was thinking about this weekend actually. The days of voting for someone just based on the letter behind their name should be over for people.
I hope so.
Because I think if nothing else, if the past few years politically, both nationwide as well as locally, have taught anyone, it's that the letter behind the name often means nothing. You should make sure you do your research and vote for the candidate that best represents the ideals that you have and what will, actually, this isn't a popularity contest. This is who these people are making decisions based on your livelihood, whatever it is, depending on the race and the office. So why would you not do your research? And so then my question becomes, well, how can you know about a candidate if they don't participate in forums, if they don't answer questionnaires? How do you know who they are? Simply because they got a letter behind their name?
How did that work out well for you earlier this year in the school board race? How did that work out for the folks out there who only voted for an R?
Oh, you mean the last election? Yeah. Oh, I agree. Look how that worked. Yeah. I mean, people should do their research. I mean, if that wasn't indicative of people just blindly voting, I don't know what else would be. But I think that you have to do your research. And, often the letter behind the name, just because a person has a particular letter behind their name, does not make them a good candidate, a good person, or it's going to be a good leader. Bottom line, we've seen that. I'm a Republican, been one my entire life since I was registered at age 18 when I could first legally vote. Never have had any other registration behind my name. But let me tell you what I've learned now that I'm 53. There's a lot of bad Republicans out there.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of bad other, groups.
Unaffiliated.
Yeah,
Democrats,
a lot of bad.
Republicans.
A lot of bad socialists, a lot of bad Green Party, a lot of bad whatever.
Yep.
And
a
even
lot
locally,
of bad right wingers too.
Oh yeah, a lot of bad right
right-wingers.
wingers. And even locally, because we have a lot of bad. I'm in the Republican Party, and I'm here to tell you there's a lot of bad around here. I've sat back and just watched quietly and shook my head.
It never ceases to amaze me what comes out of some of those meetings that you hear about and the bickering that's going on.
Oh, just social media bickering. It's unbelievable.
Oh.
It's childish. It is beyond, it's petty.
Mhm.
But I think, if I were a candidate, I would be putting my name out there every chance I get.
I would want to get ahead of that.
Yes. And also, and I'm here to tell everybody, for you people that are about to start voting, early voting starts the 20th. Make sure you don't vote for someone just because of the letter behind their name. Because I'm here to tell you, this election, I'm about to change up my thought process.
Oh, well.
So I think everybody should do their research. because issues that may not affect you at this moment, you need to think a little long term.
Mhm.
Because, you know, as you get older and your priorities and your whatever changes, my priorities have changed some.
Mhm.
And I'm learning very quickly what representation actually means and why it matters. I also, if there's nothing else I have learned, I have used to not care about this. Now, term limits
Yeah.
to me should be a law, period. Bottom line, in all races.
I'm gonna give you an exception, a couple of them.
Okay, let's hear
One
it.
would be the district attorney.
Yeah, I don't count that. Yes,
One is the sheriff.
correct.
Um,
Those
when
two are different.
when you have
Yeah.
professionals at clerk of court, same thing.
Mhm.
When you've got professionals and they're not politicians.
No, they're
They
not.
generally suck at being a politician.
Yeah,
If they're good, they
right.
suck at being a
Yeah,
politician.
because they're doing that's all
Yeah,
they do.
it's just that
Yeah.
we still have the opportunity as we the people to remove them from office
Mhm.
every 4 years.
Correct.
They got nobody
Yes.
else that can
Yeah.
remove them.
Mhm.
So,
But I think, there should be term limits because when you've got individuals in an office and they aren't listening to what the quote will of the people is, or they're just
yep,
completely out of touch with the people, got to go. Period.
they need to go.
Yeah. I mean, if you aren't willing to listen to your constituents who put you there, then why are you there?
We certainly don't want a governor for life. We don't want an attorney general for life. We don't want a president for life.
No. Well, we can't. If the president is restricted to terms, why aren't the other
The
races?
legislators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of them. Why are they not?
Yeah.
I mean, the president is the highest office in the land.
Mhm.
If they're restricted to 2 terms,
Yep.
why would Congress and then governors, well, maybe they are. Governors are.
Yeah, well, they are in North
But
Carolina.
local, like elections, like, House and even like, school board and county commissioner and those kind of things. All of it. Term limits.
I'll agree. 910-333-0139. Have you already made up your mind how you're going to vote? Or are you just going to vote for an R or a D? Is that how you're going to do it
I
this
hope
time?
not.
Let us know. I'd love to hear from you. 910-333-0139. You're live and local Real Talk. Weather's next. We'll be right back. You know what a great time of year it is. Great time to be in coastal North Carolina. Warm enough to be comfortable, cool enough at nighttime to remain comfortable. Great time to fish in the ocean all the way out to the blue water or near shore in the intercoastal waterway or the rivers and creeks that are filled with everything from spots to redfish to speckled trout. Take advantage of the opportunity to get right with nature. If you have a boat, you're on your way. If you don't have a boat, Tideline Marine in Jacksonville can get you one ready in just short order. They've got some new ones. They got a couple of, at least two or three on consignment, used boats for sale that might interest you. Tideline Marine and Family on the banks of the New River at 159 Old Bridge Street in downtown Jacksonville. Today, a great start to a great work week. I can tell you that. And a great start to a great fishing week if you want to go. Northeasterly winds 10 to 15, seas 2 to 3. Dominant period 6 seconds, sounds and rivers a moderate chop. Tomorrow, northeasterly winds around 15, seas 2 to 4, dominant period 5 seconds. Easterly winds on Wednesday 10 to 15, seas around 3 feet.
Today, which is Columbus Day,
Yay!
partly sunny, a high of 71. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 55. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 74. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, low of 55. And on Wednesday, partly sunny, high of 77.
Let's see. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
Mhm.
What's the rest of that?
Oh, and I used to know this too. Matter of fact, I said it the other day. I don't know why. It popped in my head.
Well,
Um,
I tried to think about it all weekend
yeah.
long because I don't know any more of it.
We used to have to repeat
Yep.
this in school.
Yep, we did.
It was like a whole thing.
Mhm.
Oh, here it is. It's an actual poem.
Yeah.
How did I not know that was an? I guess I should have known. We had to say it.
Go ahead and say
I'm
it.
trying to pull it up here.
Oh.
Let's see. It's a poem.
It was in 1492
Mhm.
that Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
I'm still trying to get to pull down here.
My God.
I know. Okay. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. He had 3 ships and left from Spain.
Yeah.
He used the stars to find his way. They don't even rhyme. What's happening? Stanzas 4 through 6 or a compass also helped him know how to find the way to go. 90 sailors were on board. Really? There were 90? I didn't even know that. Wow. And others watched the ocean deep. What is this? There has to be something missing from this. That doesn't rhyme.
All poetry
I know they
doesn't
don't, but
rhyme.
it bugs me. Day after day, they looked for land. They dreamed of trees and rocks and sand. On October 12th, their dream came true. His heart was filled with joyful pride. There has to be parts missing of this. But India, the land was not. It was the Bahamas, and it was hot. The Arakawa natives were very nice. They gave their sailors food and spice. Columbus sailed on to find some gold, but Columbus was brave and he was bright. Yeah,
Well,
that's weird.
On this date, back in the 1800s, my grandmother was born.
Oh, yeah?
If she'd been alive, she'd be 135 today.
Nice.
And also have a sister-in-law that was born on this date, I think about 1952. So happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
The Blue Angels scheduled show in San Francisco for Fleet Week was canceled Sunday due to weather conditions. But a member of the city council, he's a Democrat, suggested the planes not be permitted in the city's skies again. District 5 Supervisor Dean Preston, a self-described Democrat socialist, said the planes should be banned from the city's airspace. I'm not sure that they can do that. That airspace might be over you, but it doesn't belong to you, Bubba.
Right.
He put it out on Twitter. He said the Blue Angels should not be allowed to fly over San Francisco. That's it. That's the tweet. Period. Bottom line.
How much flack did he get for that?
He's getting some. Preston did not elaborate further on why he decided to take issue with the Navy's fighter jet demonstration squadron, and his office did not immediately return media calls. I'm sure. The Blue Angels did not end up soaring over San Francisco because their planned performance was actually canceled, but it was all due to weather. And they are saying, the Blue Angels said, wait till next year. We'll be here. Fleet Week 2023. And San Francisco, you little district supervisor or whatever you call them over there, council person, why don't you just go suck on a tailpipe of one of those jets for a while? Geez, what a clown.
Well, did you see the Uvalde school district?
Yeah,
They fired
all
they
of the police
suspended
department.
the entire police force
Yeah,
Friday.
I don't know what led up to that. What caused it? Do you know?
The parents have been putting pressure on to get rid of all those
To
officers.
get rid of everybody.
Well, what happened was, so apparently they had hired an officer who, at the time, the day it occurred, was a state. She was there. It was a female. She was a state highway patrolman, or what was she? She was a
Probably a ranger.
Okay, she was a former state trooper.
Okay.
Who was there the day it happened on the 24th.
Was she on duty?
Yes.
Okay.
She was and did not go into the school right away. And they found out they had hired her, and these parents lost their minds. So they fired. She was actually they actually fired her.
Okay.
And they put out a tweet that we realized we probably shouldn't have hired her. Because she was one of 7 troopers under internal investigation for her actions that day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So she was fired on Thursday, and CNN had reported her hiring, and it got out, and these parents lost their mind.
So she's gone, and now the entire force.
They
now this is a school force, school police department.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not the Uvalde Police Department, city of.
Mm-hmm.
It's the school police department. We don't have any of that here around these parts. I don't. I think Los Angeles, I know Los Angeles and a lot of other cities do.
Well, the governor called it a poor decision for them to even hire her.
Yeah.
And he told the school district, y'all need to own up to what you did by hiring her.
Fix the problem.
Yeah. So they've since already went ahead and fired her tail, which is good.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the way things should be done.
These parents are not letting up the pressure, which you cannot blame them.
No.
I think everybody connected with that day that stood by should be gone. All of them.
Yeah. The only thing you've got to look at there, since it is a paramilitary operation, they if the boss says you cannot go in there, and you do it anyway, regardless of how great the outcome would be, then you can get fired or suspended.
Yeah, everyone else is suspended. She was fired, but then prior to her, the only one was the former police chief, that Pete Arredondo, which he should have been fired immediately. I mean, I don't know why they waited as long as they did.
He lied too.
Yeah, that guy is a dirt bag with a capital D.
Yep. And he ran for what, mayor, and lost that?
No, he got the city council.
So it was a city council,
and he won, but they made him. They pressured him to step down.
Yep.
Yeah, he did. Absolutely.
Last week, Ukraine forces, they blew up a bridge.
They did.
Burned it.
They tearing it down over there.
And they set fire to it and get rid of it. And, you know, it's a bridge that connect Crimea with Russia. But Ukraine said, well, let's just blow that sucker up.
They did it too.
They did. Now they're paying the consequences for it.
Yeah.
Russia's military, they sent a bunch of missiles towards Kiev and Kiev and other locations of the country. And it had been relatively calm in the capital up until early today.
They got mad,
The strikes had targeted the center of Kiev and left civilians dead and wounded. Preliminary information shows at least 8 people were killed, 24 injured in just one of the strikes in Kiev. Russia doesn't target military targets. They don't know where the military targets are. And in Russia's defense, pretty much every Ukrainian is carrying a rifle and is shooting at them. So they are targeting civilian areas as well, where people are holed up. I don't know what I would do. I mean, you know, if we were fighting a war with, Iran, and all the Iranians were civilians, were carrying guns, like you find in a lot of situations, carrying guns and shooting at you. What do? You just let them shoot, or you take out where they're hiding.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Same situation in Vietnam. That little boy shooting.
Yeah.
And a little boy with an AK-47 can be just as deadly if he gets on target.
Yeah.
As an adult.
Well, I just read a story that's really irritating me. It goes back to, once again, um, we in this country have got to demand that. I think I really do believe, and this should be like a national law. I don't, that states cannot change based on their state laws. We're talking about bonds for certain charges. Or how bonds are given, or there definitely needs to be an overhaul. In Alabama last week, a man was out on bond to on a domestic violence charge.
Get me started now, aren't you?
You about to really get mad about this? You really about to be upset? He was home alone with his 1-year-old child and poured boiling water down the throat of this baby.
And he's still breathing air?
And it happened Sunday. Like a week ago Sunday.
Yeah.
Not yesterday, Sunday. And mom had gone somewhere and got back home and noticed the baby, something was not right. Her head or shoulder, rushed her to the emergency room. She's in critical condition. Her lungs are burned, esophagus, head. She's now in critical condition. Internal injuries, facial burns. Now, see, I'm going to tell you right now, I would have called the cops and said, you just bring the coroner. Flat out would have said it. Come on and bring them.
This man
Meet me
died
at
of
the
a
hospital.
bad case of wounds.
Because you ain't got to worry about this fool. So he was arrested, and the DA revoked his bond.
I hope so.
This past Thursday. Now, the judge has denied bond finally. But this is what I'm saying. Like, I think domestic violence, especially, needs to be looked at. And dependent on certain crimes, I think that bonds need to be set, especially if there's some type of evidence, especially nowadays in the days of video, audio, whatever. I mean, you can't, that's hard to fake.
He said, she said.
Yeah, it's one thing. Yes. But when you've got some type of evidence, and I've been even hearing some not good things here locally about some of our judges that will make your skin crawl, to the point where I have almost decided that when I see candidates running against a couple of the current judges we have, I'm probably going to volunteer to run their campaign because it's I think people get a little power. It goes to their head. And it goes back to what I'm saying. The letter behind the name does not always mean anything.
Nope.
And you need, and maybe you should go sit in a courtroom around here and listen to things being said to victims, or the way things are handled, or how sentences are given, or whatever, and think twice before you blindly go back because they're your friend, or your friend tells you they're good, or they've got a certain letter behind their name. Horrific.
Well, I was in court last Monday.
Okay.
For just one case.
I know what case it was. Yeah.
I'm not sure you do.
Yeah.
Suspended sentence. I know, well, I'm not going to get into it. The DAs, they did everything they could. It was tough making a case. And it wasn't tough making a case, but it was not what I thought it would be.
I'm learning that as well, just with some of the clients I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
And it's changed my opinion of a lot of people.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yep.
So.
Tyson's Foods, latest large business to get the heck out of Chicago.
Yeah. Really?
Oh yeah.
It's
leaving, continuing a trend in the city that many have argued is the result of the city's skyrocketing rates of crime and threatens to do harm to its most vulnerable populations. They're going to pull out. There's an employer that's gone down. I don't know how many hundreds or whatever number of employees that are going to be out of a job now. Let's see. I don't think it says. That's, the mayor. She said, well, it's not a crime rate that's doing this. It's not that big a deal. Chicago has spiked during Black Lives Matter riots and the defund the police movement in the aftermath of the 2020 death of George Floyd. City recorded its deadliest year and a quarter century last year, 797 murders. 797 murders in the city of Chicago. Most of them are unsolved. Will never be solved.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. They'll never be solved ever. Yeah.
Why would you
think
want
that.
to have a business in a city like that?
Mhm.
Where the mayor is as anti-police as the other
Oh, yeah.
folks.
That mayor's horrific. Yes.
A stealth of defunding is what they're calling it. They've defunded
Mhm.
much of the police department,
Yep.
failed to provide adequate resources
Mhm.
and staffing. Police officers are leaving in droves
Mhm.
from a lot of cities.
Yeah.
They're
Yep.
they've had it with that kind of attitude. They can go to work for UPS. There are always openings. They're always looking. Do you hear now that the National Guard, they're losing more people than are volunteering to sign up to be in the
Yes.
National Guard?
Yes.
Really? We are going to be so weakened
Mhm.
if and when Russia decides it's time or China decides we're sending the troops in, when there's a red dawn, we're going to be so weakened military wise
Mhm.
and law enforcement wise.
Mhm.
I don't know what we'll do.
Mhm.
It'll have to be every man for himself. And I see
Tell you,
I see that possibility.
I've never been a prepper, but I just keep feeling like I need to start trying to figure out how to become one. See, I'm being serious.
I know
Like,
you are.
because we are going to have to literally have to fend for ourselves.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's coming. I think we are weakened nationally. We are divided nationally.
Yep.
And in the eyes of the world, no one fears us. I feel a problem brewing. I really do.
Yeah. Well, everything from the price of gas went
Mhm.
up 30 cents when I filled up Friday, I think it was,
Mhm.
from the time I filled up the last.
Mhm.
30 cents
I know.
a gallon.
My grandson pointed that out to me.
30
Yeah.
cents a
And
gallon.
he
It went
follows the
up.
gas prices. Yeah. And he's 8. Yeah.
The price of food,
Mhm.
thought it would start to come down,
No.
but it didn't. It
Nope.
hasn't.
Mm-mm.
Um, Even the places like a Sam's or a Walmart, the prices are not cheap.
Mm-mm.
Not anymore.
Mm-mm.
I guess if you went in to buy a whole cow or something, you could get one. Then you got to buy a freezer and it
Mhm.
runs off
Mhm.
electricity, and the
Yeah.
rates of power is going up and up and up. I don't even know what we are supposed to do. What are we supposed to do?
Well, I have a theory, but we'll talk about that all
Let's take a
at
break. You're live and
Yeah.
local Real
Yeah.
Talk. Don't go away. We'll be right back. And we're back, and you got something else over there you were going to talk about.
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's always no guns, no guns, no guns. But once again, we've had a knife involved in something. And last week, an elementary school kid in Merced, California, was sexually assaulted by some idiot with a knife while this kid was walking to school this past Wednesday morning.
Okay, an elementary school kid
Was walking to school,
was
and a guy.
attacked by a guy with a knife,
Uh-huh.
sexually assaulted.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And he was booked in the Merced County Jail on suspicion of lewd and lascivious acts with a child, assault with the intent to commit a felony, criminal threats, false imprisonment, sexual battery, and child endangerment.
And did they just let him walk out on his own recognizance?
Not certain. I'm still scrolling, but they also believe he may have been involved in other incidents that have not been reported, and they're urging the parents to talk to their kids and find out.
Special piece of work.
Oh, I tell you what, they got surveillance footage. It turns out so they started checking. During their investigation, detectives learned that a man was harassing juveniles in the same area back in August. Detectives obtained surveillance footage from the previous incident, which showed a man driving a white Jeep Renegade. They found the same white Jeep Renegade on surveillance going to and from the area during the October incident. So he's believed to be the suspect in the August case as well. Yeah.
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 I hope they throw the book at him, but
first of all, it's California.
Yeah.
So,
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, he's said now that we need to change that controversial Safety Act, which eliminates cash bail and makes changes to policing. He said it might need to be made a few changes to make it a little tougher because the public outcry across the state. One crime expert told Fox News that isn't enough. One thing I think is reasonable is there are people who do not understand the Safety Act and are misrepresenting it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the governor said. Really? So let's make some changes to the language so that people will actually understand it. No, you want to hide it. You want to disguise what's going on. Pritzker added that he is willing to consider tweaks to the legislation that has drawn pushback from politicians and law enforcement officials statewide, including from 100 of the 102 states' attorneys in Illinois. Uh-oh. Oh, well, it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous that so many people out there. Of course, he's got, police protection all the 24 hours a day in a big state like that. The mayor does too.
Mm-hmm.
Take away your protection. I don't see why the taxpayer should have to pay for your protection. They don't pay for mine.
Yeah, I agree.
Not a dime.
Yeah.
And I really am just as important as the governor of Illinois or the governor of North Carolina in my mind. So, what else we got cooking around here? I guess what is it? The Globe Awards are coming up, and there's a bunch of people pushing back. They don't want to be involved in it, actors anymore.
What a bunch of yahoos.
Yeah. And let's see, Hollywood stars are blasting Ye, they call him now.
Oh yeah, Kanye.
Yeah. Blasting him. They call him his comments and tweets and everything else is Jewish hate. What?
Well, first of all, he's leans more Republican than Democrat, so there's that. I don't know. I know we do have to take a break though.
Oh yeah, we've already passed it again, haven't we? You're live and local, Real Talk. Don't go away. We'll be right back. All right, we're back here for a couple of more minutes. And did I see what? You want to say something?
Well, yeah, but I found something that actually pretty good. I hope my daughter's listening to this. So back in the 90s, McDonald's with their Happy Meals used to have the at Halloween time the Halloween pails. They were actually like Halloween buckets.
Okay.
They're bringing them back
Oh, goody.
starting the 18th of this month, while supplies last at McDonald's. And these are I remember these. My kids loved them when they were young. So for all you into nostalgia and whatever,
Or if you
the
just want a bucket to
yeah,
in,
just you don't get to choose. They're only going to carry. They've got the pumpkin, the orange pumpkin, the green goblin, the white ghost. So right, do you remember those? I remember them because my kids were
I,
all about these when they were little.
I don't remember it.
So anyway, and they had stopped them back in the 90s, so they're bringing them back for this, till Halloween. So this is awesome. So my grandson would love this. So starting the 18th, whenever that is, when is it? Next week. Yeah, next Tuesday, I think.
Yep. Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, one day next week. So go get a Happy Meal to collect the
Happy.
Each week they'll have, because it's only 3 weeks. Each week they'll have the ones. So yeah, I'm gonna try to collect them all.
You know, we got 4 weeks from tomorrow is Go Vote Day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You gonna go early?
Probably. Yeah.
I may or may not. If I do, it's going to be really late, early, late on the early.
I know
side.
what you're saying. Yeah.
Because I can change my mind, and after I voted, it will make me mad.
I'm fairly confident that I'm not going to change my mind. Fairly.
Then you better do a lot of research.
Yeah. Well, I have.
Yeah.
So that'd have to be like something drastic, which I might wait till like the week before, the last week of early voting to go, just to make sure. But I don't anticipate any changes to my little list. I have a list occurring, but you never know. So I agree. I don't like to go right at the beginning.
I've seen candidates at the last minute start making allegations and digging up dirt and doing all sorts of things on other candidates. They wait till, oh, I'm sorry, that's not exactly what I meant. But then the election is over with by that time, when they apologize for doing.
Well, here's the thing, though. If I had quote dirt on a candidate, so to speak, if I was a whoever, I would put that mess out before early voting started.
Absolutely.
Why would you not? Like, what? I don't understand. No. Why would you not?
All right, Fox News is now. Then we'll be back on the other side. Looks like 25 counties in North Carolina. Unconventional warfare exercise site.
What the heck is that?
I don't know. We'll talk about it. You're live and local Real Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME. We're back. We used to have a joint military training exercise here every spring called Exotic Dancer.
Okay.
I think it's appropriate at that time for Onslow County, Jacksonville. But they had all branches of the military, including the Coast Guard, involved. And it was always interesting, having all this stuff happening over a week or 10 days period of time. Another round of candidates will try to earn their Green Beret as their final test for the Special Forces Qualifications course. It's going to be held this month. The exercise, known as Robin Sage, doesn't sound anything as sexy as exotic dancer, does it? Will be held across multiple North Carolina and South Carolina counties, about 25 different counties. Yo, so I don't know. I know Wake County is going to have them. Of course, Bragg area, that whole area there. Most of it's going to be in the central part of North Carolina. The counties there, about 25 different counties. It should be interesting. I hope everybody stays healthy. It'll come as far east, I think, as Bladen and Harnett counties, Hoke, Lee, Moore, and Robinson counties. So it's nothing along the coast here. Well, I take that back. Other possibilities. Yep. Alamance, Anson, Brunswick, Cabarrus, Chatham, Columbus, Davidson, Guilford, Montgomery, New Hanover. Wow. Randolph, Richmond, Rowan, Sampson, Scotland, Stanley, Union, and Wake counties. Holy mackerel. So they're already worried about this exercise. Back in 2002, a Moore County deputy sheriff who said he was not notified about the exercise shot 2 Robin Sage participants dressed in civilian clothing. It was a first lieutenant and staff sergeant, I think it was, were injured. The first lieutenant was killed. The sergeant was injured. What occurred was they came out. They were in civilian clothes and carrying fully automatic weapons.
Yes, I mean, hello.
And they looked like, could be a terrorist even in those days. And keep in mind, that was early 2002, right after 9/11.
Yeah.
So the deputy, what do you think he's going to do?
Correct.
Challenge you? And of course, who knows? And a lot of times they will involve locals. They will let the locals know in some of these exercises, and they will become participants in the training exercises. That was a tragedy. I remember that.
I do remember that.
That was awful situation. Fort Bragg's, they're still looking at the president wants bases unnamed for people like Bragg. I don't think he's mentioned Lejeune.
Give it time.
I don't think he has. Well, the bases that he's talking about are named after Confederate military people.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just those? What kind of message does that send all the people who have trained here?
It's a good question.
Or at Bragg, or at any other base.
Yeah.
They're going to change the name of the street from Bragg Boulevard to what? How about down in Wilmington? That's got a whole area there, the Pine Valley area, named after a lot of Confederate military members.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I think I'm gonna get me a Thin Blue Lives flag and put it up at my house.
We have one. We got to put it up though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to get a flagpole. I need a flagpole. Of course, I can flag from the top of my house.
That's why I get the flagpole. I got to get something. Yeah. Yeah. So.
You're going to let Robin climb that flagpole?
No.
Why? He can't do it?
He probably could. I don't know.
All right. What other news have we got cooking around here? I got some really good news.
Well, that's good. I found some weird news and some what I think would probably, if you were on a plane, be unnerving news.
There is now a disturbance. There was nothing on the map earlier this morning.
I asked you about that this morning.
I know, and now it's just popped up at 8 o'clock. They've got one out there.
Oh, where's it at?
It's right about where the other storm, Julia, went across Central America into portions of Mexico and then out to sea. Now this one's back at getting ready to cross the Yucatan. Let's see, heavy rains expected over portions of southern Mexico, Belize, and Guatemala over the next couple of days. The chance of it actually forming up, the National Hurricane Center says only 10% over the next 5 days, period. It's just an area of disturbed weather. Hopefully it will just die out. That would be good. That was going to give you good news. Then I punched it up and said, whoops, Where did this thing sneak in from?
Nice.
I will give you some other good news, though.
Okay.
For those on Social Security, they're looking at a cost of living increase for Social Security benefits by as much as 8.7%. That's based upon the August inflation data, which show that consumer prices soared 8.5% from the previous year, a multi-decade high. Wow. Yeah. Lord of mercy, mercy, mercy. So maybe those on Social Security, we might get another dollar or two. I'm sure
Considering that's the
I'm
money
sure they'll
you,
figure a way to take it out.
that's the money you've worked
Yeah.
that came out of your paycheck
Yep.
every
Yep.
time you got paid. Yeah.
A major leak of Mexican government documents revealed that members of the Mexican military, have been selling guns and information to the drug cartels. Really?
Well, I don't even know why that's even surprising to anybody. Like, who thinks that's like, shocking?
It was a confidential report that they had that was leaked.
Mm-hmm.
The supplier of weapons and technical equipment is another member of the Army, whom the individuals refer to as Antigua, and who, according to the analysis of the telephone signal, is based at Campo Military Number 1 of Mexico City. So something is going on that's really not nice. So all this information came to light following a security breach at the Secretariat of National Defense, in which hackers from a group calling itself Guacamaya acquired more than 4 million confidential documents from the government. Wow, wow, wow. One of the documents was an intelligence report from June of 2019 that stated a military officer offered tactical equipment, weapons, and information on armed forces operations to the drug cartels. Big
shock there.
I really hope, man, look at this. Those are some weapons seized during
look
a
at that.
drug cartel invasion.
Yep. Scary.
Fully automatic military weapons, all sorts of guns there. Oh, there's some hand grenades and handguns as well.
Yeah, there was quite a few hand grenades in there. Yeah.
Wow. It's how do you do business with the military if you're dealing with something like that?
It's a very good question. Don't have an answer.
Well, I don't either. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How y'all doing this morning?
I'm doing fine. I got a hollow sound there, Steve. I'm not sure what it is. You're better.
It's good now. No, it's fine.
Yeah, better.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sitting in the car. That might have something to do with it.
Yeah, good. Supposed to be driving in the car, not sitting.
Yeah, well, I don't like to talk on the phone when I'm driving.
I don't either. So I definitely don't talk while I'm driving.
I was just hearing what you were talking about with the corrupt military down there selling weaponry to the cartels.
Yeah, they got one of them is a colonel.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember about a week ago when I was talking about when Greg Murphy said that he thought they were coming from Afghanistan.
Yeah.
That I made the comment that I thought that was cute, that he thought they had to come all the way from Afghanistan, that they couldn't get them from the corrupt government down there.
Yeah.
And I ought to be one of them psychic friends.
Yep. There you go. Yeah, and we're waiting for him to show me some serial numbers too, because I want to see the serial numbers and where they came from. He hasn't stepped up to that challenge.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to research his comments before he, shares them with the public. But we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I don't know for a fact where they get them.
Theme song a little bit. I'm sorry.
I don't know for a fact where they get the guns. I don't know where the drug cartel gets them. I do know that some of them came from this country back during the days of Eric Holder.
Right. And that was my point, is that you can find, weaponry like that in the United States if you got enough money and the right connections.
Yep.
I mean,
he had the connections.
Truth. Yeah. But anyway, I hope y'all's weekend was good.
It was.
Did y'all get out to the Mullet Festival any?
I did not.
Nope, I did not.
I didn't either. Yeah, I heard it was wonderful though.
Yeah, I was actually went down Friday night. Yeah, Friday
you were
night.
there
It was
Friday.
our anniversary, so we went down to the borough to eat, and then
I got you. Happy anniversary.
thank you. My wife deserves a medal putting up with me.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I feel the same way about mine. She's definitely the shining flower of the two of us.
Yeah. Yeah, I was hoping maybe you'd come crashing the party on Friday night, and that's so we could hear you sing.
I got you. Yeah, I was right down the street there at 34 North.
Yeah.
Played there. Had a real nice crowd there. And then was Saturday was over at the Emerald Club and had an insanely large crowd there.
Mm-hmm.
But
you ever get
it wasn't because of me. It was just because people went there.
Yeah, do you ever perform at the Caribbean or Caribbean? I'm not sure how they pronounce it.
Caribsea.
Yeah, it's
Caribsea. That's it.
Caribsea over there at the rooftop.
Yep.
I do once in a while, but usually I try, I'll book 2 places in a town, and if they book me through the whole year, then I try not to overbook in that town.
Sure,
and I've got 2 bars in that town to do that. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, I did some remotes over there some years ago. Did live stuff. Some of it for the morning show, and some of it in the evenings. I'll tell you what, they got some good Tom's collards up there on that rooftop. I'll tell you that.
And it's a wonderful place. I highly recommend it to everybody. I've been there, and it's really nice. That rooftop lounge is really nice.
Yeah. All right.
I was gonna say I've been working on your theme song a little bit, man.
Okay.
I ain't gonna share it with you yet, but by the middle of the week I'll have it.
No, just keep it under wraps until you get it.
Yeah.
It's hard to do live and local real talk. You want to say real talk live and local, then put the and at the end, and it just messes with my dyslexia real bad.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. I work with it. But anyway, just wanted to say hey this morning, and enjoying the show so far. But I had to call in when I heard that you read that story about down there, that corrupt government selling their military weapons to them. That's most likely where they got them from, when they get stuff like that. So,
yeah.
All right, guys. Well, y'all have a good day,
You too,
and I'll look forward to listening to you this week.
Okay.
Thank you. When that stuff starts happening, let me just go a little bit further. It's not weapons, but we have several stores here and in other areas, particularly where there's military, that sell surplus military stuff, right?
They do.
I've bought from them, but I often wonder at this stuff. Some of it is like really good shape. Why can't they reissue that to the next guys that come in? They don't get new stuff.
Good point. That's a very good question. Never thought about that. Yeah.
I can understand if the government will go out and sell some of the stuff, but I don't think the government is selling stuff to these surplus stores. I may be wrong. I think as individuals, when they get out.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I don't know, but I would suspect that. I think you're probably
right. Why
right.
aren't they required? I know some things they have to turn back in because there are times that some of these guys that are getting out, they've lost or misplaced some of their stuff. They go to the surplus store to buy it. Otherwise, they got to go somewhere and buy it new. And it's expensive.
It's true. Yeah.
So I just wonder why they don't reissue it to the next guys that come in.
Good question. I agree with that.
There's a
Well, I don't think stuff is so much issued now. Don't the guys a lot of time have to buy their own stuff?
I don't know.
I think they do.
I don't think a guy entering the Marine Corps has to buy his clothes.
I don't know because I've had quite a few clients talk about how they have to go buy. I've got to go buy this. and they like getting ready to go to the field or on the float.
Well, it's probably because they lost it or sold it or it was stolen.
I don't know. I have to ask them. I've got quite a few active duty. I'm going to ask them how this works. Yeah. I think things may have changed from how it used to be, but I might be wrong. I'm going to find out.
Well, I know there's stuff that's available, but we got enough military listening out there. You can tell us what goes on.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's take a break. Yeah. You're live, so I won't be late this time. You're live in Local Real Talk. We'll be right back. It's a great. I love October. October, as long as there are no hurricanes in October. October is a gorgeous time of year.
Mhm.
It's a great time to be in coastal North Carolina. Of course, up in the mountains is a beautiful time too, because about this time the leaves are starting to change.
Mhm.
But I'm not up there. I'm here. Warm enough during the day to be very comfortable, but cool enough at nighttime to be okay. No problem.
Mm.
Open the windows. It's a great time to go fish in the ocean. You can go all the way out to the blue water, 50 miles out there to the Gulf Stream. Quite often it's very calm this time of year. If you want to fish near shore, you can do that in the intercoastal waterway or the rivers and the creeks that we got around here. They're all filled with spots, redfish, speckled trout, croakers, all sorts of things you can catch around here.
Mm.
Take advantage of the opportunity to get right with Mother Nature. If you have a boat already, you're on your way. You're good to go. If not, Tideline Marine right here in Jacksonville can get you ready so you can rumble in no time at all. For offshore, near shore, and in the shallow waters, Tideline has new and a couple of consignment boats that might interest you. Tideline Marine and Family on the banks of the New River at 159 Old Bridge Street in downtown Jacksonville. Today, it's just a great way to start a great week. Northeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots, not much to them. 2 to 3 footers, not much to them. Dominant period 6 seconds, just right. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop. Northeasterly winds tomorrow around 15 knots, seas 2 to 4, dominant period 5 seconds. And on Wednesday, easterly winds 10 to 15, seas around 3 feet.
Today, partly sunny, high of 71. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 55. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 74. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, low of 55 again. And then Wednesday, partly sunny, high of 77.
All right, guys out there in the audience, if you got something that ticks you off, what really peeves you? Some people's driving habits, the way they drive and they act around here, anything, give us a call, 910-333-0139. I commented to Robbie a couple times this past weekend. Do not, that little thing on the left-hand side of your steering column,
Mm-hmm.
called a turn signal.
Yes.
You push it down to turn left. You push it up to let the drivers behind you know you're going to the
Agreed.
right.
Yes.
There's probably 30% of the people in this county that do not use those things.
Rayford, I think it's 70%
It
of the
could be
people.
that too.
I'm with you on that pet peeve. Yes.
They drive along,
Mhm.
and you know,
Agreed.
here's where it comes in to be very dangerous, idiots. We're on a 2-lane road,
Mhm.
and you're not running even this close to the speed limit.
Correct.
And I go out to pass you. Of course, I
Mhm.
use my turn signals to do that too.
Mhm.
And I get up and suddenly you turn and go right in front of me because you're going to turn into a driveway.
Yeah.
That's when it gets real dangerous.
Yes.
So use your blasted turn signals. That's just as common courtesy and as you know, it's self-defense for you too. Because if you turn right in front of me, guess who's going to get the brunt of the crash
Mhm.
in your driver's door? That's what
Well,
happens.
the other thing that bugs me is, so I'm going to use the example because I do this to get into my neighborhood.
Mm.
So when you're driving on 17 and you're going to turn left, I'm thinking up by going by the car dealerships.
Yes.
Okay. So there's that little turn thing. I don't know what you call it. Like it's kind of like a median, I guess.
Yeah.
So when you pull into the median, pull to the right, people.
Yes.
Come on. The rules are as follows.
Stay
You
right.
stay to the right and you stop. But some people go the left, but that's where I'm supposed to be, especially if I'm turning left.
Yep.
I'm supposed to be on the left.
Yeah.
Or on the right. I'm
On the right.
sorry. And you're
Which would
yeah,
be on
and
your
you're
left.
blocking me. Yes.
And then we're at a stalemate. It's what
Yeah.
they call a Mexican standoff, isn't it?
And I will act a pure fool in one of those. I've done it before
Yeah.
because I'm a rule person. Rules are rules.
They're there for a reason.
Yes. And you follow those rules.
Let me get to the
So-
next law that I see on a regular basis. And a
Okay.
lot of people don't even know it's a violation. You got a 4-lane highway with a turn lane in the middle.
Yeah, that happened to me yesterday.
You
Yes, I know what you're about to
cannot
say.
pull out of a side street or a parking lot into the turn lane.
I almost hit somebody that on Gum Ranch Road
yes,
yesterday over that.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, it was Saturday.
Somebody
Saturday,
coming in the opposite direction who's getting ready to turn left.
Mhm.
Now you're blocking the way.
Mhm. Happened to me Saturday.
That's another great place for a head-on collision.
Yes. And
Uh,
people just act like they own the road sometimes. That just bugs me.
yeah. 910-333-0139. Anybody else got any pet peeves like that? Okay, I'm going to go with another one.
Okay.
Some of these lights here around here, especially the left turn lights, all of them have on-demand signals. That means you have to be coming up to it and it senses that you're there.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Some of them are a little short.
All right.
All right. You're coming off Country Club Road,
Mhm.
turning left on the Western Boulevard, coming from the golf course area, right?
Okay.
And you get up there, and the first car sitting there, when the light turns green, he's just sitting there. Oh, and then suddenly he'll take off because he's not paying attention.
Mhm.
Second car, they creep through there.
Mhm.
So between the first car and the second car, there's about 5 car lengths or
Mhm.
more. And then the third car, it might be me, and I might not even get through that turn signal
Mhm.
because the second guy didn't move in time.
Yes, that bugs me because people are texting on their phone.
They're
It's
doing
light. That's
whatever,
what they're
picking
doing.
their noses or,
Yeah.
scratching their butts or doing something to
Yeah. Pay
save it.
attention. You're there to drive.
And if I toot the horn, well,
Mhm.
don't get mad at me because I tooted the horn and you've got, nothing but clear space ahead of
Mhm.
you because you're not paying any attention.
Correct.
I will toot the horn.
Oh, I will too.
So,
I
be
will
prepared for it.
obnoxiously do it. I'll be honest. So
and
just
I
so
don't do
y'all
it
know, if
obnoxiously.
you get me behind, if you're in front of me and you're not paying attention, I will. I mean, I'm not like ridiculous about it, but I will. It'll be more than just 1 2.
Well,
Yeah.
mine on this particular vehicle, you can't do just a
Mhm.
toot. You have to kind of hold it down and then it
Mhm.
goes beep,
Mm-hmm.
nice and loud too.
Yeah. No.
All right. 910-333-0139. What else is cooking?
Well, I saw this thing and I was reading, I've read it twice now, and I think I could understand why this would be unnerving. So it was a United Airlines flight.
Uh-huh.
And it was from, where were they going? Because I think it had to be diverted. The guy got arrested. So they were going from Miami to Washington. And he was high on magic mushrooms. So
Miami to Washington and he was
Yeah.
high.
Mhm.
Good boy.
Mhm.
Smart move.
And so what happened was he broke open the aircraft bathroom door while another person was in there using the bathroom. And then so
Hold
then
on.
he then assaulted more than one flight attendant.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. The first one, so then the flight attendant, after, he was clapping loudly, yelling, getting in passengers' personal space, acting a fool. So finally then he ripped that door down or whatever in the bathroom. So one of the flight attendants told him to, go back to your seat. So then he attacked and assaulted one of the flight attendants he grabbed her, started assaulting her, and then started twisting her breasts.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so that ticked off the other flight
I
attendants
would imagine.
and a cop on board who tried to restrain him. So then he started resisting.
What?
So then he started twisting the arm of another flight attendant, and eventually they finally all managed to handcuff him and kind of monitored him. Yeah. So then the FBI came on board when they landed in Dulles.
He would have.
And yeah.
I can tell you where they would have found him if I was on the plane.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Secured to the bulkhead
Mhm.
on the floor.
Yeah.
Tied feet for one thing, because I got very long
Mhm.
plastic strapping
Because
that I can carry on the plane.
you're on a plane, you got this guy wigging out over mushrooms. I mean, I can imagine as a flyer how unnerving that would be for everybody.
Mm.
He's disruptive, and he says he remembers doing the mushrooms. It was not the first time, and he was apologetic, but he's still arrested. And yeah. Let's see, that would have ticked me off.
Yep.
Yep.
I can understand.
I'm really surprised they didn't divert the flight, but they didn't. That's a little bit surprising.
I just come down to 10,000 feet and open
Yeah.
the door.
Yeah.
Have a good flight.
Yeah. See ya.
Your flight is terminated.
Yeah.
So
you're
are
at,
you.
You're at your location. Yeah. Yeah.
Flap your arms real
I mean,
hard.
I fly a lot. I don't like to fly. I just don't.
My arms get tired.
I'm a semi-nervous flyer, but that would really probably send me over the edge.
You need to go
probably
see a
flying.
counselor, wouldn't
Yeah,
you?
I know, right? I have to but I've seen some things on planes in the past I used to not be that way, but it made me that way. Yeah. And I was in a really severe turbulent situation one time. It was really bad. And I think that did it for me. Yeah. It
Oh,
was real bad, Rayford. So there were injuries and everything. It was bad.
wow.
Yeah. So
At least the overhead bins didn't come open, did they?
they actually did.
Did they? Oh,
People
wow.
got injured. It was real bad.
Oh my,
Yeah.
that was bad there.
Yeah. It was beyond bad. So yeah.
Over in St. Louis, there's some group of people apparently stealing cars. Lots and lots and lots
Okay.
of cars.
Okay.
City leadership threatening lawsuits against Kia and Hyundai for an alleged defect that makes certain types of cars easier to steal. Uh-oh.
What did they do to make them easier to steal? Are they saying that?
The tow truck drivers,
Mhm.
one of the drivers there said they end up having to pull 5 of those a day after they've been caught or abandoned after they were stolen. 5 a day. That's just one tow truck company. Just Kias and Hyundais getting stolen.
Mhm.
Auto thefts in St. Louis have doubled this year. In July alone, the city averaged about 21 Kia and Hyundai thefts every day. Wow. 21 every day. Every day of Kias and Hyundais. The number increased to 23 every day in August.
Interesting.
So St. Louis leaders threatened to sue Hyundai and Kia, demanding the car companies address a defect that makes stealing cars made before 2021 easier. TV station reported last week that plans to sue the car makers over the city's spike in auto thefts are still in the works. Man, that's tough.
Yeah.
So the city's going to sue you
Wow.
because the city has to investigate all this stuff and some kind of a defect. Wow. Some of the thieves are as young as 13.
Well, I could see, a gang, and I don't mean that as an organized
I
gang, but
know.
just, if I had a ring, a car theft ring, I would
Mhm.
use a kid because of in theory, the lesser sentence they're going to get.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know that's why they're doing, but that would not surprise me if that was why.
Yeah. Well, the
Yeah.
kid would get it, but you can be charged with
Correct.
contributing to the
If the
delinquency of
kid-
minor and everything else.
If you can prove the kid will rat you out,
The
but
kid
yeah,
will rat you out.
yeah.
Kids will do that.
Well, some will. Depends
Yeah.
on how organized that ring is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody just sent me something. And the headline says Florida issues a forceful response to credit card companies that want to track gun and ammo sales.
Yeah.
So apparently Visa, MasterCard, and American Express want to keep track of gun purchases.
Yep.
So the Florida Chief Financial Officer, Jimmy Petronas, said if companies proceed with their plans, they will face penalties from the state of Florida. And he said that's a Second Amendment violation to do that. Said he'll work with the legislature to pass a law penalizing businesses who are targeting the right to bear arms.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
We don't have an attorney general to do that, but we might in 2 years. You never can tell.
I'm gonna have to pay cash for my weapons from here on
Yeah,
out
pretty
then.
much. That's going to be the case. I don't want them to know anything about me.
No.
Good morning. Who's this?
My name's Phil.
Hey, Phil. How are you? Long time no hear.
Yep. See, reason why there's a spike, it's happening all over the nation, is because it was a TikTok challenge.
Really?
Yes. Yep. Back home, that's what they found out. It was a TikTok challenge and everything. And they are having gangs or having kids, what Kelly was saying, still in the cars.
Mm-hmm.
And they're using the cars for robberies and everything else.
Yeah.
Also. Yes. Another thing I heard, I don't like to talk and drive and everything. I heard you guys talking about the Blue Lives Matter. The blue.
Thin blue flags.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thin blue line. Yeah.
Yes. They're Cookersville, Ohio. I don't know if you remember this. The police chief got killed in line of duty. I believe it was a nursing home. Guy did like an active shooting in a nursing home.
Right.
He got killed and everything. His father lives in the HOA.
Uh-oh. I know where this
And
is going.
they told him to take that flag down. And he told them he's not taking it down.
Yeah. Shove it.
So, yes.
Yep. So there's also, I found out that I am not in Phil Shepherd's ward anymore. District 15, I think it is, or 14. I can't remember what district.
You're
I
in the
am
other one.
in George Cleveland's now
Okay.
after the redistricting they did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my. The
Yes.
plot thickens.
Yes. I'm not happy.
Hmm.
But what can you do?
Move.
Yeah.
Well, just research candidates is what I will
I
say about
am.
that. I'm in that district too, and I've already been doing my research. So
I am.
Mhm.
I'm going to probably email what's the name that's running against him?
Ike Johnson.
Yes, Ike Johnson. I've
Mhm.
heard some good things about him, but I just want to make sure what he thinks.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get him on here. Hopefully
He was
next
on
week.
here before,
Yeah,
and
he
he's
was on
going
here
to
a
come
couple
back
weeks
on
ago.
again. Yeah,
'Cause,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't watch news. I try to stay. I go through periods that I don't get on social media. I don't listen to no talk shows on the radio or anything. I just want to block it out,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So that's part of the week I was. I have to go back and go through you guys' YouTube
Yeah.
and listen.
Well, we had basically a couple of questions to talk about that we needed to have some answers to. So we did, and then invited him back because I want to hear about what he has to say about things like critical race
Mhm.
theory, and then also I want to hear him say, tell us about his platform more in detail. That's what I
Did
want.
you say earlier that Roy Cooper wants to legalize small amount of marijuana?
I did exactly say that, and
What? They can't pass the legislate for medical cannabis, but they
Yep.
want to pass that.
You want to make it legal to have small amounts of pot and medical cannabis. They can't get it through all of the legislature, and if they did, there's a good chance that Roy Cooper would veto it. The Senate has done it. The House is supposed to be doing it, but the House ain't going to take it up because it's a political year. They're going to wait. It's not going to happen this year. But even if the House does pass it, just because it's a Republican-controlled or Republican-led move, do not be surprised if Mr. Cooper vetoes it.
Kelly, I have a question for you.
Okay, let's hear it.
I've been listening to a lot of. There's a sheriff in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
His name's Grady Judge. It's Polk County.
Yep.
I've been listening to some of his conferences and everything about human trafficking,
Okay.
and about the child sex predators that he does conferences, news conferences. Does North Carolina or Onslow County have advocacies for the people that's for trafficking?
You're talking about the
human
for the
trafficking.
victims?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have not heard much about that.
Yeah, we do. We have a group here that does a lot with human trafficking.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, and hold on, I'll tell you what the name of it is. I gotta look them up. I used to know it off the top of my head. You would think hold on, I gotta find it. Give me a minute.
We've talked about it, but I cannot remember the name.
We've
of it
even had
either.
them on here.
Yes.
They were at that Rayford. They were at that group when we went to that event that time. What is the name of it? My mind's going a blank because you asked me that. Now, as soon as we stop talking about this, it's going to pop right in my head.
Oh, then you can put it out on the radio.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to have to.
And Phil will be listening.
Phil, make sure you listen because I got to look it up now.
Okay.
Yeah. But yes, there is one. So there is a group.
Right.
There's something else I was going to ask, but I can't remember.
God, we're all having that kind of a
It's
day.
Monday. Man, I'm telling you, it's totally Monday.
It is.
Oh, wait a minute. I think I found
Memory loss Monday. How's that sound?
it. Okay. True Justice
That's
and
it.
Open Eyes Onslow.
That's it.
And they're under a hashtag openeyesonslow.com.
Okay.
Yeah, but True Justice. I knew I'd remember what it was. Yeah.
But the Kia and the Hyundai, it was a TikTok challenge.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
I'll have to
And
look that up. I didn't know that.
that's what I was told by my uncle
Okay.
that lives in, because his daughter had a Kia and he told her to get rid of it, and she did. So,
Yeah.
alrighty, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you,
Have
sir.
a good day.
Thank
Well,
you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, True Justice is the group I was thinking of, but then and when looking them up, Open Eyes hashtag Open Eyes Onslow popped up as well. So,
Mhm.
yeah. But True Justice is one I was
And
thinking of actually.
apparently, this TikTok challenge
Mhm.
is for real.
Yeah.
Spurs rise in the thefts of Kia and Hyundai cars, targeting certain makes and models 2010 to 2021. Kia and Hyundai vehicles that use a mechanical key, not a key fob, and push button to start the car. They use a mechanical key.
So you got to have an actual key.
Well, I've got both.
I know. I just have a fob and a button,
Huh.
and my car won't start if you don't have that fob with you.
They use a USB cord to hotwire the car once they get inside.
What in the world? That
They
just sounds
post-
like a whole lot of work.
They post videos stealing
Uh-huh.
and driving the cars on social media using the hashtag Kia Boys, which has more than 33 million views on TikTok. What? Chicago car thefts up 800%. 8 times as many cars. Oh, wow. From over the previous year in Chicago. Oh, my. Okay. I had somebody on here posted a question, so we'll answer it when we come back, about what Dorothy Royal had to say about long guns last week. You're live in local Real Talk. We'll be right back. I'm sitting here thinking about that TikTok challenge there for
Mhm.
stealing cars. Why doesn't the city of St. Louis sue TikTok
Good question.
for making this a challenge? I'd name them in the suit too if I was going to sue the car dealers,
Yeah.
car manufacturers. That's just me. Let's see what else we got here. I guess Mr. Fetterman. You know who he is?
No.
He's a Democrat running for Senate from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Pennsylvania Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman on the Senate campaign trail. Some of his screw ups are kind of
Yeah.
like, you know who?
Yeah.
He suffered a stroke in May. His gradual
I know
return,
he's the one running against odds.
Yeah.
Okay, I know exactly who he
his
is
gradual
now.
return to the campaign trail has been marred by verbal stumbles and miscues. If a guy has had a stroke,
Mhm.
he's going to have some things.
Mhm.
Is he going to be fit for duty? Fit to be to serve in the Senate? I don't know. I don't know whether that. I don't know. He says I'm doing fantastic, and it's not about kicking baseball, kicking footballs or anything in the authority or anything. That's one that that's a slogan that his competition is
Mhm.
using.
Mhm.
So they're saying that maybe he isn't qualified. I don't know. I hate it it's a physical thing,
Yeah.
but sometimes physical things. I mean, if you chop off both arms, you're not going to be a police officer. There are
Correct.
certain things that are there.
I agree with
It's a physical thing.
Yeah.
There's just certain things you can't do. If you have lost the ability to speak, you're not going to be a dispatcher.
Right.
There's just certain things there. So I don't know about this one. I don't know. That should be a question. Just a me thing.
Mhm. Well, here's a good story. And this is why owning a gun is important. A woman who had never fired a gun before shoots and wounds burglar in attempted robbery. And this was in Dunn, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Last Tuesday, she was awakened at 6 a.m. by her dog barking and loud noises. She heard sounds coming from the rear of the house. She went to check to see, and there was a man attempting to steal some of the items, including her dog. So she yelled for him to get out, but he was totally unfazed. She got her gun. She said she, was nervous, but she grabbed it. She says, I was fumbling with it. It was my first time using it. She lifted the safety and started shooting at him. She said, I just started shooting wherever he was moving. I just shot him. Literally, she says, I shot him out of the house. And she said the police arrived. They found 200 yards from her home, he was found with 2 gunshot wounds, one on his lower right leg and the other on his right side. And he was treated at the hospital and taken into custody at Harnett County Detention Center. And he's currently being held on charges of first-degree burglary and possession of stolen property, $75,000 bond. Okay. She didn't know him, but she said, she's just like, good for you. Yeah. She said, I know a lot of women are scared of guns. She said, I feel these are the best protections. Yeah, she said, now she feels stronger about it. She said, we can't fight intruders off.
No, you're not supposed to.
Good for her for pumping him full of lead. I'm all about it.
None of us have to fight an intruder.
All about it.
Okay. Last week, we talked with Dorothy Royal from Surf City Guns and the Paralyzed Club. The new law, I think it's in effect now or coming into effect soon, that if you're 18, 19, or 20, before you can go buy a long gun, you have to get in line. In other words, it's going to be a mandatory minimum 10-day waiting period.
Okay, that's what it was.
That's what it was.
Somebody asked me about it over the weekend. I was like, I don't know. I remember hearing it, but I wasn't here, so I was just listening.
Yeah, now you don't have to do that.
Right.
So,
right.
Well, up until now, I don't know I don't know, remember exactly when she said it goes into effect. 21 and older, it's okay. You can still go buy the long gun. You don't have to have a permit or anything else. They'll run a background check on you, pop your name in, and yada, 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 and it'll be okay. So, but anyway, that's the story. You're live in local Real Talk, Freedom 97.1 at 11:20 a.m. WSME, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and for a few minutes now, we've got time for one more call. If somebody wants to chime in, 910-333-0139. And we're getting all sorts of messages from Lee over there. You guys are doing things back and forth. Soaring food and gas prices have led young parents, Jesus and Krista Montiel, to seek other ways to cut costs and make ends meet and provide for their 2-year-old daughter.
Okay.
They're out there in, I think, Wyoming, if I'm not mistaken. In Wyoming. Jesus said, I'm doing anything and everything I can to be able to provide for my family. He's a manager at a toy company. That includes driving an hour and a half one way to and from work and working literally all day. I get to see my daughter twice a week. The inflation right here, these folks have resorted to, eating ramen noodles. That's pretty much their mainstay. Surviving on 2 cups of ramen noodles a day. His wife limited herself to 1 meal and 2 snacks per day to make sure their daughter has enough food.
See, families should not be having to do this.
No family should
Bottom
not have
line,
to do that.
They should not be having to do this.
This ridiculous, these ridiculous prices. I know the stores are having to pay more. I understand all of that. But whose fault is all of that? Gas prices went up. Yep. The oil prices went up. Yep. What are we doing to bring them down? Would they have gone up under Trump? I don't know.
I had somebody say to me and over the weekend, and I can't say I wanted them to be wrong, but I can't say that they are. They were talking about this being one of the first steps of socialism.
It is. Absolutely.
And the more I thought about it, I'm like, they're 100% right.
That's where they're,
and
that's
I know
where they're
listening,
headed.
So yeah. That's exactly, it's conditioning us to accept this.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I mean, for all of you who think socialism is a great thing, I'm here to tell you it is not.
Yeah, just look at the socialist countries and ask the people there what they think. Yep. The government does well. I mean, those guys.
The government does well, but the citizens
they're
do
set
not.
for life.
Yeah. Bread lines and this, that, and the other. Oh, yeah.
No.
My daughter had a professor at ECU that was
Socialist?
no, she was from a socialist country, and she lost her mind one day. Michaela said in class, some of my kids brought up how they thought it was good, and she stopped whatever she was planning to talk about and just
In
completely
what
lost her
way
mind.
do they think it's
Yeah.
good?
Well, these kids don't know, they hear the media and they, what I mean, they don't have a clue. So
In what
yeah,
way do they think it's good?
because they think it's equal and everybody gets, and that's not, everybody doesn't get, nobody gets. Like Michaela said this professor ended up being one of her favorites, but she lost her mind. Yeah.
And why should a guy who
Mhm.
works hard,
Mm-hmm.
starts from the ground zero,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and builds a business, as my dad and his brothers did,
Right.
and way back when, they got paid just like everybody else
Correct.
that worked for
Yeah.
them got paid.
Yeah.
Nothing,
Mm-hmm.
very little.
Yeah.
I knew what his paycheck was, but they had a business, and it turned out to be a very lucrative business.
Yeah.
They did very well.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen overnight.
No, it never
Well,
does.
why should he be penalized?
Correct.
Why should he have been penalized for that?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
To give it to somebody else who won't go out and even try to do something? He had nothing handed to him. They didn't have anything handed to them.
I don't think we took our last commercial break, and it's now time to go.
I think we did, didn't we?
I don't think so.
Oh,
We messed up, didn't we?
we may have. Okay.
Okay. Well,
We
all right,
we
guys.
part of it done. Live and local, real talk. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.